Hi, everyone. This is Gioya McRae. I'm with Mocha Mind Communications, and I have a program called Rewrite Your Life. And this is about rewriting your life. This talk is about how to redefine your future, redefine success, and reinvent your future. So, I hope there are people out there, and I'm looking forward to this. There should be a chat box. This is my first time doing a Google Hangout on air. So there should be a chat box that shows on the right hand side where you can type in any questions that you have. So I hope that that's there. Okay, well, let me get started. I'm Gioya McRae, and I am a transitional life coach, and I help women over 50 redefine success and find a renewed sense of purpose. And as I said, today I want to talk about exactly that, redefining success and finding a renewed sense of purpose. And let me get started here. Whew. Okay, well, women our age, we have reinvented ourselves many times over the years. And a lot of times what happens with women our age is that we have reached a point in our lives where we are undergoing a shift. For example, we may be retiring or looking at retirement, or we may be widowed or divorced. We may be empty nesters, or at some point in our life where there's a shift in our lives and we're not quite sure what to do with the next phase of our lives. And this is what I'm talking about today. How to go about making that shift in your life. I'll tell you a little bit about my history. I have definitely reinvented myself many times in life. I have had both of my hips replaced due to arthritis. I have survived an emotionally abusive relationship, actually more than one. I have been widowed and I have been divorced. I am currently a widow. And I have gone through bankruptcy and come back to fix my credit and reestablish my credit. In other words, I have been up, down, and back up again. And very often I've had to do this alone. And it's been very hard sometimes. And that's why I have a passion for helping other women to get over these obstacles, because a lot of times I could have used a helping hand, somebody who has been there, had done that, and knew how to navigate those waters. And that's why I'm there to help you. So let's get started here. So the first thing I want to say is that taking the time to plan out whatever you want to go through is 100 times better than just plunging ahead aimlessly, because I have done that, and every time I've just plunged ahead or just blown with the wind thinking that I was going to just move forward, a lot of times I had to step back and start over. So rather than keep plunging forward and stepping back, I believe in moving forward by planning a future, planning what I want to do. So that's something that you're going to hear, a theme you're going to hear throughout this whole talk, because I believe in planning what you want to do. It makes your life so much easier when you plan a future that really suits your values. The first step that you want to take is you want to determine what's missing in your life. You can't move forward until you find out what is it that you're actually missing that you need to take care of. Okay, so for example, I'll give you an example. You may think that you lost a job, and you may think, oh, that's my problem, I lost my job. When maybe the actual problem is you shouldn't have been in that occupation to begin with. Or maybe you think my relationship sucks, but maybe it's not him. You know, it could be that you have grown and changed, and this person doesn't fit with the woman that you have become or with the direction in which you are moving. So what I'm saying is you need to dig a little bit deeper to figure out what exactly is the issue so that you know what it is that you need to solve or resolve before you move forward. So I'll give you an example from my life. After a difficult divorce, I needed to move, and I jumped on the first apartment I found, and within weeks I realized that I hated where I was living. I didn't like the neighborhood, I didn't like the apartment. It just was a bad situation. And it was my own fault, because rather than thinking about, gee, where do I really want to be? Where do I really want to live? What kind of environment do I want to be in? I just jumped on the first thing smoking. And it was really like a train wreck. And of course, I had to backtrack and change everything. So I'm saying this to say, again, plan. Think about what your real needs are before you just plunge forward. Because that's the difference between thinking that you just need to put a Band-Aid on something when you really need surgery. Okay. So after you've determined what's really missing from your life, you want to know, what do you want to replace it with? Okay, so how do you do that? A lot of people say, well, I want this and I want that. No. Start by writing down, get a pen and paper, and write down your personal traits. Okay, not so much about what you want, but about who you are. So, for example, do you love working with, do you love people? Do you care a lot about people? Or do you love working with your techie skills? Are you like a great graphic artist? These are indications about what kind of jobs you might want to go for. Something that suits your personality. Now, I know we all have to pay the bills. Yes, we do. But that doesn't mean that you can't pay them in a field that really suits your personality so you can be happy at what you do. Or what? Another thing, do you like, do you want to live in an urban environment? Or do you like clean, green spaces that are quiet? Maybe you need to move to the suburbs. What I'm saying basically is you want to bring into your life things that bring you joy. And that's how you know how you want to move forward. So let me go back to my example about the apartment where I was so miserable. What I ended up doing was I sat down with the pen and paper, what I'm recommending for you to do, and I wrote down my traits. and what I wanted, what I loved about what I wanted in my life. I wanted a peaceful life. I wanted to feel safe. I wanted a life filled with creativity. I, in general, just needed to be able to relax and enjoy my life. So what I found from that was what I actually ended up doing after I wrote those traits down was I didn't know how I was going to move. I didn't have much money. I didn't know where to go. But what I did was I stepped out on faith. And this is one of my favorite stories because it's something that I really believe stepping out on faith really moved me forward. I just started packing. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know how I was going to get the money, but I just started packing. I packed up everything I didn't need to use, and I purged things that I hadn't used for years. I just threw stuff out, and within 3 weeks, I had moved to a beautiful apartment in the suburbs where I felt safe. It was clean and green. It was relaxing. I was able to create. I was actually able to get a lot of writing done. And I really, truly believe in my heart that it was because I stepped out on faith, just started packing, started purging the apartment, and just stepped out on faith. Took one step and God took two. Whatever it is you believe in, you need to believe in something. But whatever it is you believe in will help move you forward. So from now on, whenever I need to make a big change, before I just plunge forward, I stop and think about what I need, because I spent so many happy years in that new place because I just stepped out on faith, and because I took the time to think about what kind of life I really wanted to live. Okay. So, another reason that a lot of us don't move forward is we feel like we don't have any purpose in life. And a purpose is something that will make you want to get up out of bed in the morning because you know there's something that you want to do. Now, a lot of times we say, well, I don't know what my purpose is. So I'll give you a couple ways to find out what is your purpose. You think about, one way is to think about something that you really care about. So for example, do you care about the elderly? Or do you care about animals? Or do you care about the environment? Is there a cause you can get behind? Can you go and volunteer at a retirement home? Or volunteer at your services at an animal shelter? Or maybe, like if you're like I said, care about the environment, maybe you can use some of your skills to help that an environmental agency. Whatever it is, a cause that you care about, something that gets your juices going. You know, you've seen the commercials on TV about this cause or that cause. What is it that really affects you? Those are things that can give you a purpose in life. If you just join in, you can volunteer those organizations, work for those organizations, find a way to help the people or the causes that you like, the things that you really care about. And you may think you don't have skills, but I'm going to talk about that in a minute, because you do. You don't get to this stage in life without skills. Um, Another thing is, say there's no cause that jumps out at you. Well, I bet that you have a passion about something. For example, I know there's a lot of fashionistas out there. You know, if you love fashion and you know how to put an outfit together like that, well, maybe you could teach some of these young ladies out here how to dress for success, okay? Help them get jobs or something. Or maybe you're a great cook and you love cooking and baking. You can teach young mothers, single mothers, how to cook economical meals for their families. There's always someone you can help out there with your passion or with your skills. Okay, don't tell me again that you don't have skills. Let me tell you something about skills. Skills are anything that you may have learned along the way that you take for granted. Very often we have skills that we don't think of as skills because we take our gifts for granted. For example, I'll give you an example from my life. When I had written and self-published my first book, I had one of my mentors called me up on the phone and he said, well, you know, now that you've self-published a book, you can teach other people how to do that. I was like, me? Teach somebody something? I was like shaken up. Oh no. But after I thought about it, I did that. I set up my first self-publishing seminar. And from there, I got years of pleasure just helping other people to self-publish or write their books. And that morphed into coaching, getting my coaching certification and coaching people in different walks of life, how to move forward with themselves in their lives. So I say this to say that you have skills. And how do you know what those skills are? Something you take for granted. What do other people come and ask you about? What areas do they ask you for advice in? That's how you know where your skills lie. If you get a lot of people asking you for advice in a certain area, or you just happen to love doing something, you have gained skills. Anything you've been doing for years, you may take it for granted, but when you start to help other people do that, you'll see that something you take for granted because you've been doing it for years or because you have gained knowledge in that field for years, other people see that as a gift and they need your help. Helping other people is the greatest way for you to see your own skills and help other people in the process. So use your skills to help others, and that's how you'll find your passion and your purpose. Okay, let's move on. Now, sometimes we need other skills to move forward ourselves. So, for example, maybe you have aspirations to do a different type of job. Like you say, you know, to suit my personality or my values, I would like to do that instead of what I'm doing. But maybe you don't quite know how to do that. Get skills. Get the skills. If you know you need certain skills to do a certain job, plan to do that. You say, I'm here. I want to be there. Plan to get those skills. There's lots of ways to get skills. You can get them online. You can get skills by going to an adult school at night. You may just know somebody who has the skills that you want, and just ask them, will they show you? You know, there are plenty of ways to get skills. And I'm not just talking about job skills. Say, for example, you are living a stressful life. Stress, 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 stress. Okay. Maybe you need some meditation skills. Learn how to meditate. Calm yourself. Center yourself. Because we need to be able to be calm and centered in order to understand what is going on around us, what's going on in our lives, and what we need to move forward. So maybe you need meditation skills. Or maybe you think, oh, I'm just too busy to change my life. I'm too busy, busy, busy. Maybe you need some time management skills. Okay, take the time to get time management skills so that you can balance your life. Time management will allow you to have a more balanced life. Okay, that's something that I needed in my life. And as I get more balanced and take more time for myself as well as, you know, working towards my goals, I find I'm much happier and much more at peace. So there are different types of skills, not just job skills, but life skills that we can also gain. Now, excuse me, 1 second. Thank you. Now, in order to gain these skills, there are 2 important elements. One important element is honesty. Very important. We have to be honest with ourselves about what our current skill level is. Now, you may want everybody else to think you got it going on, you are handling everything, but you have to be honest with yourself about your skill level. Because if you just want to feel like, you know, you are, that like you know everything, you're not going to move forward. Because nobody knows everything. Because if you knew it all, you'd be where you wanted to be. Okay, so there are skills that we all need to gain in order to move forward. So be honest with yourself. That's the first element. The second element, we must be able to accept help. It's very important. You know, a lot of times we don't want anybody to know that we're not leading a perfect life or that, you know, we don't know it all. You know, we want everybody to think that, you know, we think we're a legend in our own minds, okay? And we want everybody else to think we're a legend too. But the truth is, nobody lives in a vacuum. Nobody moves forward in a vacuum. We need other people. And we have to be able to accept help from other people. So if we can do those 2 things, be honest with yourself and be able to accept help from someone else, then we will be able to move forward. We're getting there. We are getting there, okay? Another important piece, this is a huge one, huge, 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 huge. Another important piece of moving forward with our lives is we have to be able, listen carefully, we have to be able to let go of the parts of our past that no longer serve us. And I hope you're listening to that. I'm going to say it one more time. We must let go of the parts of our past that no longer serve us. Now, you may have heard Iyanla Vanzant talk about how we get stuck in our stories. We get a story in our lives. I mean, we say it and say it and say it until we believe it. So I'll give you an example from my life. For many years, I told people, I don't like to cook. I don't want to get in the kitchen. I don't feel like cooking. I don't want to cook. I don't like to cook. But it really wasn't true. I mean, I actually believed this. But one day, while I was sitting down and reflecting, again, reflecting, staying calm, listening to your inner voice, I was reflecting, and I remembered that there was a time that I loved to cook. I used to love trying out new recipes, just getting in that kitchen and, you know, the smells and the process of cooking. And I used to really love it. And I had to think back, just get quiet and become reflective and actually think back what happened between that time that I loved to cook and that time that I stopped wanting to cook. What happened there? And I realized that in my past, I was in an emotionally abusive relationship. And I used to love trying out new recipes. And in that abusive relationship, my partner, he just used to put down anything that I cooked. He criticized my cooking. He cut up my recipes. He just in general discouraged me from cooking. I actually let that relationship, I let him steal my joy of cooking. Okay, and I say this deliberately, I let him. It wasn't, he had, you know, I thought he had control and I let him steal. I'm taking responsibility for this. Let him steal my joy of cooking. And for years, I actually believed that I didn't like cooking, that it was just a chore. It was just something I had to do. And once I realized where that thought came from, I was able to get that joy back. Now, don't get me wrong. I do not want to get in the kitchen every night. That's not what I'm saying, because that's not me. But when I cook, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I got my joy back. And so I say this to say, think about where your thoughts are coming from, where your feelings are coming from, where your stories are coming from. Because sometimes the things we believe about ourselves that are holding us back are old stories that we need to let go of. Letting go parts of our past that no longer serve us. It's very important. It takes a little time and it takes a little reflection, but it is so well worth thinking about that and letting it go so we can move forward. And I hope that that story really reflects with you and helps you move forward. Okay. Now, we've done a lot about, we've talked a lot about reflecting and thinking, but thought without action is just dreaming. It's not moving forward. It's so you have to take actions and take responsibility for your actions, which I've already talked about. Or maybe I haven't. Oh no, I didn't. I'm going to tell you about taking responsibility for your actions. I think I did talk about this already. Yes, I did. Okay. So just take responsibility for your actions so that you can move forward. but we've already covered that. So the last big element of moving forward is embracing change. We have to be able to embrace change to move forward. And what I'm saying here is, if, like, for example, if I want a better body, but I don't want to give up my chunky monkey ice cream, that's not exactly embracing change. Embracing change means maybe I'll reduce the amount of chunky monkey I'm eating, and actually go to the gym. Okay, that is embracing change. Or if we feel like we want to move, we want a new apartment, but we don't want to leave our old neighborhood. Is that embracing change? Not really. Okay. So what I'm saying is, we have to be able to embrace change in order to move forward. Because if you don't want to make any changes, you're just going to stay the same. You're not going to move forward at all. Change, I heard this saying, change is not pain, but what is it? Change is not pain. Resisting change is pain. So be able to embrace that change so that you can move forward. Be willing to change. Now, we've talked about the elements of changing our life, but what about maintaining our new lives? Because you don't want to change your life and then go back to old habits. So what do we do to maintain our new lives? 3 important elements to maintaining our lives. Okay, the first is getting a support system. Really important. A support system is, you want to have like-minded people in your life. In other words, you want to surround yourself with other people who maybe are supporting the same causes you are, or have the same goals that you have, or at least are moving forward toward goals. Because if you've ever talked to somebody about your goals and they're not moving forward themselves, they're like, oh, that's nice, you know. They don't really get your juices going, do they? But if you talk to someone who is also moving forward with their goals, they're like, yeah, this is great, you know, and I'm doing such and such and such. And then you two can support each other and urge each other forward. It's so much excitement in that conversation. That's how you know that that's a person to include in your circle. And the other side of that coin is to get rid of or release negative people from your life. You know the ones where every time you tell them about an idea you have, they're right there to say, well, I don't think you should do that, or I don't know why you want to change that. You know, they're the ones that never have anything good to say about anything that you want to do. And that's because they are not making any moves forward in their lives. When you have negative people, not only do they not support you, they can drag you back to where you were, because that's where they like you. They like you being back where they are, just sitting in that one spot. So definitely release those negative people from your life and get a good support system. So that's the first element. The second element is having a balanced life. And I think we touched on that earlier. A balanced life, which is very hard for anybody who if you're like me, you're a goal setter. I know I can get very focused on my goals and I could just grind away at those goals. But I have learned to take time for family, for friends, and just to relax. Just take time for me. Those are things that you need to do. You need to be able to take time for a balanced life. Yes, we are driven. Some of us are really driven to reach our goals. And it's a good thing. But when we can take some time out for a date night on a regular basis, or to spend time with our families, or to just relax ourselves and have more balance in our lives, we'll find that we are also able to create more because we are drawing from other areas of our life. So that's important. That's the second element, balance. And the third element, self-care strategies. And what are self-care strategies? Things that we learned from our mothers. Okay, get enough sleep. Okay, again, goal getters. Oh my goodness, do we like to get up early and work to get a few more things in and then stay up late to get a few more things done? Burning the candle at both ends does not work. Get enough sleep. Eat healthy, regular meals. And I'm not trying to be your mother. I'm just saying, the healthier that you are, the better you feel, the more clear your mind will be, and the more you'll be able to accomplish. Sleep, eat healthy meals. Okay, try to sit down and really eat a real meal. I know myself, I've been guilty of it, grabbing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, whatever's in the fridge, I'll just snack on that while I'm working. No, sit down and eat a healthy meal. And exercise. Walk around the block a couple of times if that's good for you. I love walking. Go to the gym on a regular basis. If you want to do something, work out in the home. But regular exercise actually stimulates the brain. So if you think about that you're stimulating your brain so you can get more done, that'll kind of move you along to exercise. Get a partner. They'll make you exercise. Somebody who will exercise with you. Or do something fun, dancing exercise, Zumba, something fun. But those are self-care strategies: eating, sleeping, exercising. So those are the three elements, okay? Get a support group, have a balanced life, and have self-care strategies. Oh, and before I wrap this up, big bonus tip. This is a bonus, and it's something that I learned a long time ago and I have found invaluable. Learn to say no. Okay, I'll say it again. Learn to say no. And this is because a lot of us are caregivers. Women have a tendency to be caregivers. And what happens is, as soon as somebody knows that they can count on you to do their work, trust me, they will call you on a regular basis. How many times do you say yes when you really don't feel like doing something? Even if you have nothing else to do, you just want to sit down and relax, there is no need to feel guilty when you say no about doing somebody else's work. Trust me, what will happen if you say no? Some people won't like you anymore. Fine. See ya. It'll be fine. Because people who don't like you anymore because you say no, those are people who don't need to be in your life. They're probably in the negative people category, or else they're users. Some people may not like it at first, but then they'll come to respect you, and those people will stay in your life. Those are good people to have in your life. And then there are the people who totally understand, and they will help you sometimes instead of counting on you to always do their work. So that's my bonus tip. Learn to say no. I know it can be hard in the beginning. If you don't quite know how to say no, you can say, well, I'm just not able to. And most people will accept that. So I hope that this session helped you out in moving forward in your life. I hope that you've gotten some self-care strategies, some other strategies for moving yourself forward. I do offer one-on-one coaching or workshops for organizations to help women move forward in their lives. My program is called Rewrite Your Life. And please, I hope that you do drop by my website. It's down here in the lower third of the screen, mochamind.com. Check me out. There are free tips there. There's a blog there where you will find a lot of tips, and you can check out my one-on-one coaching for anyone who's interested. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for coming out to the Hangout, and I'll see you soon.